Hello children, how are you? I think you are very fine because you are enjoying holidays. But today we are going to learn one lesson. In this lesson, Grandpa tells a story to Raunak and his friend Roshan, Akshay, Ishan, Gauri, Vidya and also all of us. But in this lesson, I will not teach you story. But in this lesson, there are some useful expressions and we are going to focus on such kind of expression. These expressions are very useful while converse to each other. If you want to be good at in English speaking, you must use such kind of expression. That's why these expressions are very useful. These are the interruptions. When someone is speaking, that time somebody wants to say something. That time he will say something. What will other person will give the response? Such kind of expression we are going to learn. In this lesson, Grandpa is telling a story. You know very well that story, Pig Bar Cat. In this story, there are two characters. One is a jackal and other is a camel. And in this story, when he is telling the story to his Raunak and other students, that time some students are interrupted to Grandpa. So I will read out these stories, and that time when they interrupt to Grandpa, you underline or you listen carefully that expression. So ready for listening. So today I will read out the story. Lesson number 1.6 and page number 18. Please open your book and listen carefully what I am reading. Shall I start? Yes. Grandfather was telling a story to Raunak and his friends. Grandpa, once upon a time, near the water edge. Raunak says, "Excuse me, Grandpa, what is an edge?" Here, listen carefully. What did Raunak say? Next, Grandpa says, "My dear boy, allow me to complete this sentence. Once upon a time, a camel and a jackal lived by a river near the water edge. And on the other side of the river, there was a village with fields and farms. Now, can anyone help Raunak with the word edge?" Isha, let me guess. Is it the border or the line where one thing starts and another begins? Grandpa says, "You are right." Now, the jackal was very clever. He tried to play a trick on his friend camel, who was happily munching away. In this Grandpa's conversation, there is a dialogue. You are right. You be careful about this expression. Radhika says, "Grandpa, could you please repeat the last phrase?" See this expression. Next, Grandpa says, "Happily munching away, the camel was happily and slowly eating or munching away his food. Children said, "Oh." Grandpa says, the jackal began to tempt him to go for a sugarcane trip. Vidya said, "Pardon, Grandpa, I didn't get the last word. Could you repeat those?" So, see the word pardon. Next paragraph, Grandpa says, "A sugarcane trip." Vidya says, "Sorry, Grandpa, but I did not understand the phrase a sugarcane trip." Grandpa, a treat is something special that one enjoys. The jackal wanted the camel to go with him to the sugarcane field. Akshay says, "Can I explain further?" Listen to this expression. Can I explain further? The jackal and the camel were going to eat and enjoy the sugarcane from the farmer's field. Next page, Radhika said, "Why everyone will enjoy a sugarcane tree?" Grandpa says, "Yes, you have understood the meaning of tree." Gauri says, "Please continue, Grandpa. Let's listen to the story. But tell me please, does it mean that they were going to steal from the farmer?" Shreya says, "Maybe. But let's listen to the story." Grandpa, let's please have the question later. Have you listened? Have you understood? So, in this lesson, there are something new for you because you know the story very well, tit for tat, but in this lesson we are going to learn some different kinds of expression like pardon, excuse me sir, can you repeat that please? Will you please say that again? Sorry, but I did not get the last word or sentence. Could you please explain that? Could you explain the meaning? Excuse me, can I ask something? So these kinds of expressions are given in this lesson. So it is a very useful to speak other person very effectively. If you want to be a good speaker, these expressions are very useful. So in this lesson, we are going to learn that kind of expression and in which situation such kind of expression should be used. But that time what kind of response will be given? We have to learn. Suppose somebody says you pardon or excuse me sir. That time what will you do in response? Yes. Okay? Yes. Like this you give the response. Suppose somebody asks you, could you repeat that please? That time your response should be sure or certainly. Such kind of responses should be given. Then, when somebody asks you or told you, sorry, but I did not get the last word or sentence, that time what will you say? Oh, okay, I will repeat it. Could you please explain that? When such kind of question will be there, that time you should give the answer. I will explain it afterwards. If the expression is like this, excuse me, can I ask something? That time you give the response, go ahead, like this. मित्रांनो, आपण या पाठामध्ये स्टोरी नाही शिकणार. ही स्टोरी तुम्ही अगोदर शिकलेली आहात. उंट आणि कोल्ह्याची गोष्ट जी आहे ती तुम्ही यापूर्वी शिकलेली आहात. परंतु या ठिकाणी रौनकचे आजोबा जी स्टोरी सांगतायत त्यावेळी त्यांना त्यातील काही शब्द अवघड जातात. त्यावेळी ते काय बोलतात याकडे आपण जास्तीत जास्त काय केलं पाहिजे, लक्ष दिलं पाहिजे. म्हणजे हे जे एक्सप्रेशन आहे हे एक्सप्रेशन आपल्याला रिस्पॉन्सेस आणि एक्सप्रेशन हे आपल्याला काय करता आलं पाहिजे, वापरता आलं पाहिजे. मित्रांनो, तुमच्या पुढच्या पानावरती ही जी गोष्ट दिलेली आहे ही गोष्ट तुम्ही संपूर्णपणे वाचून घ्या. In this lesson, when Grandpa is telling the story, that time students are using some interruptions such as pardon, excuse me, sorry. So, we are going to learn these expressions in such a deeply different situation. What should we use that expression? There are expression or interruption like pardon, excuse me sir. That time what will you give the response? Yes, like this you should give the response. When somebody interrupt you by using such kind of words, then next expression is given. Could you repeat that please? Will you please say that again? Such kind of expression when they use that time, what will you say? What will you do the response? Sure, certainly. Like this you give the response. When somebody tell you, ask you, could you repeat that please? Then you give the response, sure. When somebody will ask you, will you please say that again? Then you give the response, certainly. When somebody will tell you, sorry, but I did not get the last word or sentence, that time who will tell me? What will you give the response? Okay, I will repeat it. Such type of responses will be given. So when somebody will ask like this, they are a very useful expression while speaking. Then could you please explain that? When such kind of expression will be asked from other person, or could you explain the meaning of so and so? When somebody will ask or other person will ask like that time you give the response. I will explain it afterwards. But you can say, not now, later on. Like this you give the response. So it will be very essential thing while speaking to each other. When somebody asks you or tell you, excuse me, can I ask something? When he want to ask something to you, that time he will ask, excuse me, can I ask something? That time you positively give the response, go ahead, like this. So in this lesson, these useful expressions are given. So student, You listen carefully, read carefully, all kinds of expression. You recite it, you practice it, and you try to use it in your daily conversation. Because when we learn language effectively, when we use that language daily, regularly, in daily life, then we will learn English very well. That's why such kind of expression you use in daily life regularly. Have you understood? Did you understand? Okay. Then we will see the some exercise which is given at the end of the lesson. Yes, student, have you understood what I am telling you? What I am saying to you? Did you understand? Yes. Now in your page there are a story. You read the story carefully. Now I am reading a story. Please listen it carefully. Once upon a time, a camel and a jackal lived by a river near the water edge. And on the other side of the river, there was a village with fields and farms. The jackal was very clever. He tried to play a trick on his friend, the camel, who was happily munching away his food. The jackal began to tempt him to go for a sugarcane treat in a farmer's field. At first, the camel hesitated, but in the end he agreed to go with the jackal to raid the sugarcane field. The jackal sat on the camel's back, and the two friends crossed the river. They ate their fill in the sugarcane field. Suddenly the jackal began to howl. "Shh," said the camel, "you will wake the farmer." But the jackal went on howling. Sure enough, the farmer and his helpers came running to the field. The naughty jackal slipped away, but the poor camel could not do so. The farmer beat him up and drove him away. The jackal was waiting for the camel at the riverside. He said, "Sorry, brother, but I am in the habit of singing after a good dinner. I hope you didn't mind it much." The camel didn't say anything. He let the jackal sit on his back and enter the river. Near the middle of the river, the water was very deep. There the camel began to take a dip in the river. The jackal was frightened. "What are you doing, you silly fellow? Are you trying to drown me?" "No, brother," said the camel. "It's just that I am in the habit of taking a dip in the river after a good meal. I hope you don't mind." The naughty jackal learned his lesson. He never troubled the camel again. And after that, there are questions under the lesson. So now we will see some questions. First question, put the following pictures in a proper sequence. There are pictures. There are a disorder of their picture. You make the sequence properly and arrange the picture. Very simple exercise is given. Then in the fifth exercise, copy an appropriate line or lines from the story for each of the pictures above. So this question, the words are given. Read the following words and then put them in the proper row in the table. camel, jackal, water, village, farm, field, time, trick, treat, habit, happiness, grandpa, friends, farmer, helpers, Radhika, Steve, sugarcane. These are nouns. You know very well. Noun means any name of place, thing or object. So these are the nouns. And there are some classification. You write the word in proper bracket. There are some columns: people, animals, places, things we can feel, see, etc. Things we cannot touch, see, etc. Like this. So there are the list given. Then you find which noun is belong to category people, which noun is belong to category animal. So you classify and you try to write under that title. Is it very easy? Yes. So it is a very simple exercise. You do the exercise in your notebook and try to use what we have learned here, the expression. When you speak with other person, that time you use such kind of expression. Where should we use pardon? Where should we use excuse me? Where should we use sorry? And what should we say? What should we give the response when or while other person will say like this? Have you understood? Enjoy the English, enjoy the communication, enjoy the speaking student. Thank you very much.